Some thoughts on Windows 10 end of life in October 2025, which I would remind you is not that far away. These will probably be my sort of final thoughts on Windows 10 since I feel like I've kind of beaten it to death. I mean, it is an important topic, but I think myself and others have talked about it ad nauseum, so I think this will wind it up as far as Windows 10 end of life is concerned. It's maybe important to say that Windows 10 will not stop working or somehow become disabled in October. There will be no apocalyptic breakdown. However, it will rather quickly become less secure as security vulnerabilities will no longer be fixed by Microsoft. More on that in a bit. Over a longer time frame, you might see a lack of driver support for Windows 10 from hardware manufacturers, things like that. Now, there are options that might be worth reiterating if you've not heard them before. One, the most obvious and one most people will likely do is to upgrade to Windows 11 if you are able to do so with your current computer. Microsoft has made this a bit more awkward than it could have been by upping the hardware requirements in order to make the case that Windows 11 is more secure than Windows 10 could be. The truth is that all operating systems get upgraded or replaced at some point as technology improves. It's not just a Microsoft thing, although they chose to do it in a rather hard-nosed way, in my opinion. Two, you can choose to just keep using Windows 10 and in many cases will likely be okay. But bear in mind, as time goes by, you will be more prone to security breaches as already stated, so you need to consider that. There are some options available to pay to continue receiving at least some security updates. But see the links below, and that may be an option for you. If you do intend to keep using Windows 10, please go ahead and download a copy of the Windows 10 ISO file now, while you can. If your hard drive goes bad or something like that, you can always reinstall or repair Windows using the ISO file or get a techie friend to help you. After Windows 10 goes end of life, I would not be surprised to have Microsoft disappear links to the Windows 10 ISO. After all, it would be a liability for them to give access to an unsupported operating system, so why would they even expose themselves to that? 3, you could jump ship and get an Apple computer or laptop, which to my eyes are actually a better value currently than they have been for a while. The hardware is generally good quality, but you can't easily run Windows on it. Now, macOS is different enough from Windows that there may be at least a few days where you're fumbling and stumbling around trying to do stuff. If I'm being perfectly honest, the first time I tried to use a Mac, it was more difficult than the first time I tried to use Linux. The transition is not like you're trying to go from English to French. It's like you're trying to go from English to English with a really strong accent, You just have to pay a little bit more attention. 4, then again, you might consider using Linux instead of Windows. I've beat this drum for a while, so I'll take one more shot at it. I could make a note here that might be obvious to some, but for regular computer users, they may not even have thought about it. The Windows PC that you're using just happens to be a computer that is running Microsoft Windows. It can work with other things like Linux. Linux provides the heart of many freely available and mostly open source operating systems like Zorin OS, Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and Fedora. There are many others too. These have the advantage of probably running just fine on your existing Windows 10 PC, so you can extend the life of your current PC or laptop while being able to still use a modern and secure operating system. Again, Linux is different from Windows, so the same caveats apply as with Apple, except that you don't need a new computer. Plenty of links below if you're interested in following up on any of these. And the link should provide some answers to questions you probably have about all this. Thanks again for watching. Take care. So that's another video in the can. If you found this informative or interesting, please consider liking and subscribing down below. And remember, be excellent to each other.